Hello, everybody. Welcome to Middle School GSA. I'm your host, Squeebo The Last, but you can call me Squeebo. My pronouns are they, them. And I'd like you to meet my wonderful co-hosts.
Hi there, I'm Felonious Ferris. My pronouns are they, them.
My name is Demigloom. My pronouns are she, her. And if anyone touches the goddamn table during this recording, this episode's getting uploaded to Live Leak, okay? I swear to God, if I hear one little thing, it's Jover for you.
So Jover.
All right. So what are we doing? What are we doing today? We're in a live studio, technically.
Yeah.
Or I guess we are. We're in a live studio. We're recording an episode for the first time in many months.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we have on our plate, some of which we will get to today and some of which we won't. I'd like to thank everyone who listened to this show recently, specifically. We've gotten a lot of new fans for reasons we'll talk about in a minute, but we've got over 90 subscribers now, which is crazy. That's like almost 100. And I've gotten a lot of messages from people who are like, hey, I'm checking out Middle School GSA. I started listening from episode 1. Or they started with an episode that piqued their interest. And a lot of people are enjoying the show. It's very, very, very reassuring to hear that, we put out a product that people actually want to listen to, despite all of my own grievances with the show. It's great. I'm really, really happy that a lot of people are listening to the show. And also, I want to give a huge shout out to a smaller creator, Vosh.
Yeah, God knows he needs a...
Yeah, he needs a shout out. No, huge thank you to Vosh and Keffels, the VGG and KGG communities alike, for listening to the shit out of my content, looking it up, subscribing to Demigloom as Vosh and Keffels instructed, and it's great. I'll talk about those people more later, another time, when Felonious Ferris is not here, and yeah, I just once again, thank you to Vosh and Keffels for all the attention. It's great. We'll probably talk about that more when we talk about what we're about to talk about. And do you want to talk about what I just said we're going to talk about?
Well,
or do we have more? I feel like I'm not passing the steering wheel to anybody right now. Does anybody else have anything they want to say before we get into the actual topic?
Nope.
We're not back. We're not back as a weekly show yet. Okay? We don't know. I broke my computer. I can't record or edit. And it's sad. It's a very unfortunate reality, but it's what God wanted, okay? We're back. But we're back for now. There's also a lost episode. We talked about the Zoomer manosphere, particularly how content like Fresh and Fit and Sneeko and a lot of these this new generation of red pill content is affecting young boys specifically. And it was a great episode, but it's going to be lost media until I get my computer fixed. So
I completely forgot that was gone, I'll be honest.
Yeah. So
I really enjoyed being there though.
Instead of donating to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, you can now donate to the Demigloom Laptop Relief Fund.
Yeah, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/OniPlays.
No,
that doesn't exist. Don't look it up. It's probably a scam.
Yeah. But, Squeebo, do you have anything else you want to say before we get into the topic?
Thank you so much for having me on. I mean, I've been a long-time fan.
Yeah, first time caller, long time
time.
We've never been in a recording session with Squeebo
not
before.
Once.
All right, let's take it back. Let's take it back to the beginning. Who brought up the Ben Shapiro event? Who brought it to the attention of the group? Was it me?
That's a good question. I think it was you.
I think I brought it up because I know I saw it in an article. I don't know if someone else brought it up before me.
It was you.
It was definitely you.
So, according to them, then, what happened was I saw in the news Ben Shapiro is coming to UW-Madison, the University of Wisconsin in Madison. It's a great place. Great people. Some of which are great people anyway. It was crazy. It was like Ben Shapiro is coming to University of Wisconsin. I'm like, what the hell?
And Demi, you used to teach there, right?
What?
At UW, right?
What are you talking about?
Yes, and first rule of improv.
What? What's the joke? Wait, what's the joke here?
Oh my god.
Does Ferris get the joke, or are they just laughing
You're supposed to
uncomfortably?
make the joke. I'm laying out the structure for
What is it? Is this a Tim Westwood freestyle where you give me some words and then I gotta come up with a story for you?
It's called improv.
It's called improv, Demi.
No, I'm not. This isn't a fucking improv exercise. You're ruining my podcast.
Dude, that's what podcasts are.
No. Listen. This is what happens, okay?
We write a script and then we read from that script.
No.
Different times.
No. This is what happens. Shut the hell up, Squeebo. I'm already regretting letting you on this show. Already, okay? You're horrible first impressions right off the bat. That's all I'm gonna say. I see an article. Ben Shapiro's coming to UW Madison. I don't remember if it was his event was titled or not, but I remember the subject matter. And he was going to talk about, obviously, the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict, and he was also going to do a Q&A. And I was like, bro, I want to talk to Ben Shapiro. I want to be destroyed by Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, we know.
I've looked this up on Rule 34 so many times. You know how many Ben Shapiro destroys reader fan fictions I've read?
Whoa.
So many.
I bet that exists somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Shapiro destroys reader.
Me and my friends used to write Shrek X Obama fanfictions. If that exists, then so does Ben Shapiro X Reader.
Yeah. No, but in all sincerity, this is a very personal thing for me. Ben Shapiro played a pretty noteworthy part in my own father's radicalization against the trans community. My own father, who is radically anti-trans, hates trans people, thinks all trans people are sexual predators who are going to go to hell, etc., etc. You guys know the story. He was a big fan of Ben Shapiro, and oftentimes he would pretty much quote Ben Shapiro verbatim. Like, I'm not going to modify basic biology because, he pretends to care about biology when it has to do with trans people. He would quote Ben Shapiro a lot, and Ben Shapiro, needless to say, has been on my radar for a long time. And it's the very prospect of me getting to speak to Ben Shapiro, or even just see him live, just look at him in person. It made me feel very uncomfortable, but also excited in a way. I sound like I'm describing like
You sound like a stalker. That's
yeah,
what you sound
I
like.
do sound like a stalker. It's less like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like being starstruck, but in like the worst possible way. It's like for the first time I'm being presented with the opportunity to be face to face with like my mortal enemy who slayed my entire village.
He really
people.
is the anime antagonist.
He is. It's crazy. I've heard, you hear rumors and stories and videos about this guy, but seeing him in person is insane. But needless to say, I hit up my two friends, Squeebo The Last and Felonious Ferris, and I'm like, we have to go to this event. And I'm like 90% expecting Felonious Ferris to be like, no, we can't go to that event. That's horrible. Or like, I don't know. I'm expecting Felonious Ferris to try to talk me out of attending this event. But they don't. They seem pretty down. And actually, I didn't text the group chat, did I? I think I just told Ferris.
No, you texted the
You
group
texted
chat.
Did I?
Group chat,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure initially I didn't invite Squeebo to come along because I didn't want to take a 16-year-old with me to a right-winged event. I didn't want to take a trans high schooler to an event full of like hundreds of people who want them dead. Like, I was already nervous putting myself in that situation, but you were pretty enthusiastic about going.
Dude, you cannot imagine. I was so excited.
And I mean, it's a UW Wisconsin event, and I don't know. I don't think there was any physical danger there. I just think the emotional setting is very horrifying, to say the least. But you seem to know what you were getting into, and I was happy. I was really happy to have you along.
Yay.
But the plan going in was, weren't we, me and you, Ferris, were both going to ask questions, right?
Yep.
And I had my question, the question you heard in that Excuse me, of course. I haven't had the hiccups in weeks. I haven't had the hiccups in weeks, and I get it when we record.
You want me to
every
get
time.
water?
No, that's fine. I'll be okay. But sorry. Anyways, we both had questions prepared. Felonious Ferris, do you want to talk about what you had prepared before I get into mine?
I basically Okay, so it was not they weren't real questions. They were questions that I already knew the answers to. But
well, that's kind of the whole point.
The point was the context I was giving at the beginning. Basically, picking apart how manipulative his tactics are. I don't even want to call them debate tactics. What he does is not debate. It is
Talking tactics.
Talking fast.
It's but I picked apart how manipulative he is, how just the way that he skews people's perspectives with the clips that he posts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what? It happened.
It happened. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So I mean, I feel like we should, I don't know. Well, so I'm sure at this point we're all aware that Demigloom got to ask her question. And I was a bit hesitant about getting on, both because I was scared shitless and because I had a bad cold and was barely able to talk without coughing. But once Demigloom went and I saw Ben Shapiro use the tactics that I was talking about in my question against her, I was like, God, I need to get up and go stand in line. So I got over there, right? And one of the big things at Ben Shapiro's events is people with disagreeing questions get sent to the front of the line. So someone came up to me and said, hey, do you have a disagreeing question? And I was like, yeah. And she saw that I had my notes app open. She was like, oh, can I see it? No, she didn't say it like that. She was like, oh, let me see it. She demanded. Yeah. And I should have lied about what my question was in retrospect. But she kind of grabbed my phone and read my notes and was like, interesting. I'll come back to you.
Oh.
She did not come back to me.
Yeah.
One of her coworkers came and was like, hey, can I read that? And I was like, fine. And he read it and he was like, I'll come back to you. And he never came back to me. He actually took a picture of my question. And
what?
Was like,
really?
Yeah, and he was like, can I show this? Can I show this to my coworkers? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he walked away and never came back. So the disagreeing questions get sent to the front of the line is a complete fucking lie. Entirely.
Well, what they mean when they say that is that he wants to talk to people who disagree with him and not people who agree with him. But they have a whole. I'll just talk about my question, or my leading up to my question. They have a little screening process at the line. So you get in line. After a speech, he's like, I'll be happy to take your questions. And you go to the line, and in the line, somebody comes up, somebody asks every single person in line, do you have a question that disagrees with Ben Shapiro? And most of the people said no. A lot of people were like, yeah, no, I don't disagree. And I feel bad for those suckers because they never got to ask their questions. But they come to me, and they're like, do you have a question that disagrees or agrees with Ben Shapiro? I'm like, I was like, disagrees. And then they're like, can you ask... There were what are they? Like, if you could ask him, what would you ask right now? They worded it in a weird way, and I was confused. I was like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was just like, I want to know what he thinks about. I want to know why he's so attached to his definition of womanhood when other concepts like motherhood have been able to transcend their initial biological definitions, or some stupid shit like that. There's really not a way to word my question that doesn't sound pretentious as fuck. Or annoying, but it does it's an annoying question to ask, and I kind of love it. But they were like, okay, and they're like, they saw that I had a piece of paper in my hand, and I was like, shit, I noticed that they saw that, and I was like, that's gonna be a problem. And then like Ferris said, the lady kind of just like took it out of my hand. She didn't take it out of my hand, but she kind of like grabbed my hand and like looked at the paper, and then asked me if she could have it. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I was scared that she wasn't gonna give it back. That's what I was scared of. I was scared that she was just going to take the paper out of my hands and be like, you can't have your paper, but you can go ask your question. And I was like, fuck. Because I had a little bit of like evidence and stuff written on my paper. I had like the year that I had the year that adopted parents were legally recognized as parents written down. I had like a couple examples ready for his counter arguments. Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for him to not address my question at all. But I digress. The lady's like, this is too long. I was like, yeah, this is just notes. I'm not gonna ask all of that. And she was like, oh, okay. Really fucking dumb, because I had like a 2-paragraph question. I knew I could read it fast enough, but like I think a reasonable person would look at my question and be like, yeah, that's pretty long. But yeah, I was really, really scared that they were gonna deny me. But I don't know why. I don't know what I was expecting, because I was immediately. It wasn't like okay, we'll get back to you and it's your turn or whatever. It was literally like, okay, go up. Basically, there was one person talking, and we're like, okay, go up. And then I walk up there, and immediately the person's done, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, I'm sitting here. I've been sitting in the back of the line for like 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, like 5 minutes, thinking that I had like 10 minutes to prepare myself, right? Thinking that I could gather my thoughts, really think about this, see some other people go, get a feel for how this is gonna work. No, because as soon as the line opened up, I went back there. I wasn't able to pay attention to the questions that were asked because I was talking to ladies and stuff. But it was really, really fucking scary, and you'll never be able to see it on the video. But it was super dark in there. Like there was basically a flashlight shining in my face, but everything else was like very dimly lit. And Ben Shapiro was like, how far in front of me do you think Ben Shapiro was? Like 20 feet maybe?
More than that.
Yeah.
Like 30, 35.
30, 35 feet. He was pretty far away from me, but he was staring me like directly in the eye. And he had, he has 2 microphones. He has like a spotlight on him. And of course, he's being filmed in glorious HD with the most flattering lighting ever. And they're filming my side profile with like a light, like in a very weird angle. So I look really like, I don't know. I look shitty, shittier than I did in person. And he's just sitting there super confident, super ready. And I was like, holy shit. I don't know could you guys see me when I was up there asking my question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think I was like visibly shaking when you saw me in person?
No.
Not really. I mean, from the distance.
I
It
was-
really looked like it.
I was shaking like crazy.
I
Like,
believe it.
like
I was
inside.
shaking as soon as I got up to go stand in line. I had never actually like quaked in my boots before. My legs were shaking.
The last time I shook like this was in 9th grade, when I gave a speech about how anime fans were a marginalized group. And I was horrified nobody would get my joke. That was actually really bad, because the person who followed me was like, I'm just going to say they had like a very serious and traumatic story, like right after. It was bad. But anyways, I'm up there. Ben Shapiro's like, in the spotlight, and I'm like practically frozen. And I feel like the whole world is watching me, because they fucking are. Eventually, in the grand scheme of things, 3 million people are watching me, and I'm like, holy shit. And that perspective didn't really settle in until I was right next to him. I'm like, this is the modern version of being on TV, is being in something that's being filmed and knowing it's gonna go viral. Leading up to the event, when I'm envisioning myself asking the question, I don't even know if I was going to be able to get to my question answered. But I also didn't know if I was going to be clipped or anything. But as soon as I got up there and I saw like just the nature of the event, I was like, they are farming for clips. Like, definitely. Like, this is literally just to get YouTube shorts. This whole thing. His speech was really short, which we'll talk about afterward. It was a farm. Plain and simple. And I walk up there, transgender, goofy glasses, fucking pink anime sweatshirt, like
Gloomy bear, yeah.
yeah. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I just kind of looked at myself internally, and I'm like, I'm next. I'm the next soy boy that gets owned by Ben Shapiro. And that's what happened. And so all of this whole reality is settling in, and I'm almost like fading out of consciousness. Not consciousness, but I'm like, I don't think I've ever disassociated so hard in my life. Because like my brain was like wandering. All of a sudden, like I was like jerked back to reality. And it was like, what's your question? I'm like, holy shit. So at this point, I'm face to face with my mortal enemy in front of the entire world. And I have perhaps less than a minute to tell him anything I want. I'm not even doing a great job of illustrating the pressure that was on me at this point, but it is infinite. It is the most pressure I felt in my entire life. Like, I can't even think of anything that I could compare it to. I don't know any other event that has caused me this much, like, in the moment anxiety. So keep that in mind when you watch that video. I am horrified. This is the scariest thing I've experienced in my entire life.
Yeah. Why'd you say it like Donald Trump?
Life. There were great people, many of which were great people. They were all watching. I went viral on TikTok. It was great. But so I'm there and I'm just like, hello, Ben.
That was not the impression that you gave me.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, she's steady right now.
Oh.
You were really well composed.
She's confident.
A lot of people said so, including a lot of people you look up to. And I think that's something to be very proud of. If anything, Ben looked very distressed. He was like, well genuinely, like, you were the Chad and he was the virgin.
Yeah. But that's how I felt in the moment, man. This was my one shot, my one opportunity, as I describe it. It was literally like the exact scenario described in Lose Yourself was what I was going through right then.
Vomit on your sweater already.
Yeah, exactly. I was, I hear the crowd cheering. I hear the Shook Ones Part 2 instrumental playing in the background.
You should have. Oh my god.
Would I have looked better if I just rapped?
That would be pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie.
I could have been like, Ben Shapiro, you think you're some kind of hero?
It would be so funny.
Yeah. But holy shit, man. The pressure. But here's the thing, man. I wasn't confident in my ability to perform. I'm never confident in my ability to perform, if you know what I'm saying. But, like, I was...
Oh my god.
It wasn't that funny. Come on. Ferris, I hope you know every time you laugh really hard, it gets clipped and we play it in Discord VCs.
Yeah.
I used to have a whole soundboard of Felonious Ferris saying things out of context and laughing. It's great. Great material. But I wasn't confident in my ability to perform, but I was confident in my logic. I was confident in what I was saying. So I took a deep breath and I told myself, if you say this, you're going to be right, And I have mixed feelings about my performance, but I will maintain I think I was logically superior. I think the logic I offered was infinitely superior to Ben's logic.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I presented a solid, rapid, and dense argument for Ben to deconstruct, which he should be able to do. Given that's all he presents other people is basically just political rants. He'll just throw like a whole, like he's like ChatGPT. Like if you ask ChatGPT to dodge the question and then construct a political rant with a couple of keywords from what you said, that's what he does. Because he didn't answer my question at all. Please, I am begging you, if you think that I got owned by Ben Shapiro, take a look at what I actually asked. Like, write down what I asked, or like take notes about what I asked, right? And then write down or take notes on what Ben Shapiro said, how he responded. He did not answer my question. My question was why we are so afraid of changing language when there is clear precedent for it, essentially, right? I added more shit to it. But he did not answer that at all. He went on rants about how men cannot be women, or how every category has its boundaries. But he didn't actually explain to me why any of this is the case. And he didn't address the premise of my question at all. Please, I am begging you, if you think I got destroyed, try answering my question for him. Do it. Do it now. Pause this episode and do it right now while I think of what I'm supposed to say next. But yeah, he danced around my question, and he interrupted me many fucking times. Many times. I say many times. There's like 4 lines back and forth, but you could hear me trying to construct, I'm really sorry, guys. It's been a minute. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said, but this is what happened. I started to give when I was like, one could say that, so since he's saying a woman is factually, biologically female, and a male is factually, biologically female, the categories have boundaries. You cannot just ignore them and completely disregard these categories. And I was like, my response was something along the lines of, one could say that motherhood begins with pregnancy or a biological relationship to an offspring. But as we know, and he cuts me off because he knows that makes him look really fucking stupid. If I could have said that, if he would have let me say that, he would not have been able to respond without looking like a hypocrite. That's the problem. Is Ben, if he were to acknowledge anything that I said and actually respond to it, and also assert that he doesn't think trans women can be called women, or that he thinks it's preposterous to change language to affirm, woke transgender logic or whatever. If you were to go on that rant while acknowledging the truths that I presented, he would look like a hypocrite. And in my opinion, he did. He absolutely looked like a hypocrite when he was like, someone's not going to be offended if you call them a biological mother. And, we have these 2 different kinds of motherhood. And I say something along the lines of, it's almost like we have 2 kinds of womanhood too, Ben. But again, he doesn't acknowledge it. And when I should have known that this was going to happen going into it, but remember, I wasn't prepared for this scenario. I didn't have the dialogue options ready. I had to type in my whole fucking response. When I said cis women, everyone just laughed. They didn't care. They didn't want to hear me out. And that's another thing, is they don't fucking care. They don't want to hear it. I'm arguing under their framework. I'm admitting the differences between biological and, non-biological women, as they call them. And they don't want to hear it. They don't want to respond to logic. They don't give a fuck. They just want to make fun of us. They hate us. They want us dead. That's all. That's all they care about. They're not interested in logic. If they were interested in logic, they would be speaking to the leaders of left-wing thought rather than college students. I'm not a fucking leader of left-wing thought. People in the comments said that. Because people are stupid. People are like, these are the leaders of left-wing thought? God help me. Oh my God. I can't believe this is what happened at JFK's party. Oh my God. First of all, fuck you. Second of all, I'm not the leader of left-wing thought. I'm not. I am a college student. Do you want me to tell you who I am? I'm Demigloom. I'm a college student who's been out as transgender for 2 years, who watches a bunch of political live streams and reads a shit ton of Wikipedia. And, I'm not a leader of left-wing thought. I am not. I am absolutely not. I have no background in politics. I just hold a lot of moral principles, and I have a lot of life experience. I have a lot of life experience that has influenced them. And I like to think I possess the argumentative and logical skills required to articulate these principles and advocate for them. And I think I have the critical thinking skills to question whether they're right or wrong. I think I'm a pretty good person, is what I'm saying. and that's all I really have going for me. I'm not a leader. I'm not a leader of left-wing thought. Okay? And the fact that I was able to make Ben Shapiro look like a fucking idiot to anybody who understands what debate is, what a debate is supposed to accomplish, or anyone who understood my question and paid attention to how he responded to it is fucking hilarious. Ben Shapiro is a clown. He's a clown. He's a shill. I want to respond to a couple things that people have said, and then I'll end my rant. Number one is a lot of people saying, you're never going to change his mind. No fucking shit. Did you think I went up there thinking Ben Shapiro was going to say, I never really thought about it that way. And then through the magic of friendship, we were going to get through this together, and he was going to support the trans community.
Like a Steven Universe antagonist?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm so sorry for what I've done.
If you think that's the point of debate, or if you think that's how the world works, you're sadly mistaken, my friend. I went up there for the benefit of the audience. I went up there to make him look like a dumbass, and I went up there for personal reasons. I saw an opportunity to speak to my arch nemesis, and I took it. And in all honesty, I had a lot of regret at first after reading the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments, by the way, of people telling me that I'm disgusting, that they want me dead, that I should kill myself, or that my parents need to disown me. All these horrific things. All I did was go up there, like, on some real shit. I went up there and I asked him a question, okay? People are treating me like I murdered their family. These people are fucking drones. These people have convinced themselves that I am disgusting and I'm evil and I should be killed. I mean, you guys have seen a lot of the comments. I've read a lot of them to you. They were awful. Maybe later I'll take the opportunity to read some of them on the show, but not right now.
I actually have something to say about the Ben Shapiro fans.
Yeah, go ahead.
While I was in line, by the way, they kept moving people in front of me. Rather than moving me to the front of the line, they moved people in front of me. But one of the people who was with the organization, what are they called? The
Young America's Foundation.
Yeah. One of those guys was behind me. And there was a guy who went up to talk about Palestine, and he was very poorly prepared. It was overall kind of
Are you talking about the "it's not for me to say" guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said the guy up front said something about all of the innocent people being murdered in Gaza right now, and the guy behind me yelled "Beast!"
Yeah.
And I turned around and I said, is this what you stand for? You stand for children being killed? You're a big fan of that? And he couldn't even look me in the eye. He said nothing. He would make eye contact for a split second, look back down at his feet. And I think I said something at the end, that this isn't verbatim what I said, it's the general gist. And at the end I said, "You can't even meet my eye, you fucking coward." And turned back around, and the next time I turned around, he was gone. These are the people making these comments, okay? As soon as you confront them in real life, they crumble. They
don't care about children. They don't care about anything besides.
And they're fucking spineless pieces of shit. Honestly, the average trans person has more guts going into public every day. That is more risky for them. They have more guts than these people who sit on the internet and say awful things, and then when they feel empowered to say it in real life, fucking like sand, like a sand castle, just fucking into dust.
Yeah, definitely. I need to stop saying I need to get like a little like sign printed out that just says like "Stop saying you fucking idiot." But nonetheless,
like a taser that tases you every
Yes,
time you say
Squeebo.
Yeah.
That's the best fucking idea I've heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
I need a shot collar.
I mean, but
A shot collar with a bell on it that says that shocks the living shit out of me if I say or if I swear, because I want to stop swearing. Honestly,
okay, Dick Masterson.
No, genuinely, I don't want to swear. I sincerely do not like saying cuss words a lot. I think I'd much rather say "holy cow" than "holy shit" in pretty much any context.
I think I've been deciding over the course of this recording session if I want to read out what my question is.
Do you want to?
I think I do. Because I think it's imperfect, and the next time Ben Shapiro comes around, I'll have a new question. That'll
Okay.
be better.
Okay.
Improved.
So do you want to tell us what you were going to say and why you were going to say that, and also why you would rather say something else now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll start by reading out what I have.
All right.
You built your career posting clips from events like this to YouTube. You typically title these clips something to the effect of Ben Shapiro destroys woke college student, but when I watch these clips, the pattern seems to be that the student asks a question, and then you interrupt them or shut off their mic before they're able to fully articulate their argument. Or alternately, you rant at them for so long without giving them a break to speak that it wouldn't be possible for them to completely remember all of your points, let alone respond to all of them. My two questions are, how can you claim to have delivered a crushing rebuttal to an argument that you haven't even heard in its entirety? And do you seek out opportunities to do Q&As like this to generate clips that intentionally misrepresent your opponents? And looking back, there's more, because I put this question together purely off of the Ben Shapiro clips that I had seen. Within the context of the actual event, it's so much worse. It is so much more manipulative than I even realized. And there are a lot more details that I would have liked to add about him, whenever someone does come up with a good question, not truly responding to it, not giving them equal respect as a debater. I think you would probably respond to something like that with, well, I don't think that they're worthy of respect. I think it's irrational. But yeah, some shit like that. But it gives me a great deal of satisfaction. I'm not sure if this is the reality. I'm going to delude myself a little bit, though, hoping this is the reality, that my question struck fear into the hearts of Ben Shapiro's staffers and didn't let me go up.
It definitely did. It definitely did. First of all, I still think even with the context of having been at the actual event, it was a great question.
Yeah.
And I want to say, when I started reading your question, I was just like, what the fuck is, like, this is the worst question I've ever heard in my entire life. And then I realized that was kind of the point. And then, like, the more annoyed I got reading the question, I was like, oh, okay. It's genius. It's genius.
Part of it was it uses one of his tactics, which is to talk at great length.
Yeah.
Without giving him a chance to speak. Of course, he would have just cut me off. And one of the things is that I didn't realize someone else holds the microphone and wrenches it away from you when Ben Shapiro starts talking. There's no way that you can stand up to him interrupting you. You can't interrupt him back. It's completely unequal.
Also, I also want to just make it clear, I did not run away like a coward, like the debate section thinks I did, or the comment section thinks I did. Everyone's like, pathetic coward. Ben Shapiro stood his ground the entire time, was willing to respond to everything the transgender said, and he walked away like a coward. What a fool. And I'm just like, you idiots. Do you think they were going to let me talk for more than 6 minutes? I think I had one of the longer questions, besides that one guy who was really stupid.
Yeah, they only let him talk for that long because of how
he was making himself look dumber and dumber and dumber. He was taking himself further, refusing. First of all, okay, I'm going to say this, I don't know if you guys will agree, but if a Zionist asks you to condemn Hamas, there's only one appropriate response, and it's to condemn Hamas. Because I think if you outright refusing to condemn Hamas will 100% result in you basically being seen as endorsing them, right? Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Israel. It's not for me to say.
Yeah, exactly. That guy, he was like, so should Hamas surrender right now? Ben Shapiro was like, should Hamas surrender? And he was like, it's not for me to say.
Even though the entire time he was
like, I'm not Hamas. And then Ben Shapiro was like, you're literally dictating policy. Yeah. And that's like the one fact that Ben spit the whole time. Yeah, you were literally dictating policy and then saying, it's not for me to say. That's something that liberals do. That's some liberal shit. Is dropping the it's not for me to say after saying a whole lot. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
Like, it's really dumb. It's really dumb.
Yeah.
We're not liberals here, guys. We're leftists. Don't worry.
I've been okay. I'm not gonna go into that.
Wait, are you a liberal?
People recently have been calling me a shit lib because I'm like, maybe some of those, like, German concert goers in Israel didn't deserve to be fucking butchered. And people are like, libtard! You're fucking shit lib!
Oh, those are just tankies, though.
Yeah.
For the most part. But yeah.
Yeah.
I had more things to say, and I know I'm going to remember them as soon as I pass the mic. But I guess, do we want to talk about his speech?
Yeah. I'm excited for this.
You guys, okay, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. I kind of blacked out. I didn't black out. I kind of blocked out the whole speech because as soon as I went up there with my question, I was like up until 5 or 10 minutes before the Q&A. Sorry, around 5 or 10 minutes before the Q&A happened, I'm just clearing my mind, just readying myself. And I wasn't really able to pay attention to his speech and the content of it so much. I do remember a lot of key things, and when you bring them up, I'm probably going to have things to say about them. But could you guys please go into what the whole gist of the speech?
It was mostly just about Israel and Palestine, first of all. And now it's been so long that I'm not going to remember every part of it super clearly. The part that really stood out to me, partially because of personal relevance and also partially because of how fucking nonsensical it is him going, now there's this organization called Queers for Palestine. And then everyone in the room laughed. And he was
Why'd you say that like Gilbert Gottfried?
I don't know. I can't do a
Queers for Palestine.
He didn't say Queers for Palestine. He said
said Queers for Palestine.
He did say Queers for Palestine, I think.
Well, and I guess at a different point he was like LGBTQ plus minus XY.
Yeah, that shit. But the Queers for Palestine thing. He was like, how ridiculous is that? Queer people advocating for Palestinians when it's such a conservative region and none of them like gay people. And
it's almost like queer people have basic human empathy that extends towards people who don't exactly agree with them on everything, unlike some other people in this conflict.
Yeah. And I've had discussions about this later after the fact, and one of the things that has just repeatedly come into the front of my mind is I'm bewildered that anyone would tell me that I should be okay with seeing people crying in the rubble of their family home over scraps of flesh that used to be their toddler, and I shouldn't have empathy for them because, they're transphobic. I don't think anyone deserves that.
Yeah, we don't wish that on anybody.
Including transphobes.
We don't wish that on anybody, including...
I don't wish that on Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I believe Ben Shapiro has done an enormous amount of harm. But I would never wish something nearly that bad on him. I wouldn't wish physical pain on him at all. Let alone that degree of mental anguish. Losing a child to a bomb. That's insane. And it just really is exposing how sociopathic he is. He just can't fathom that I, as a queer person, would not want, the worst possible fate on someone who I disagree with, even if I disagree with them on something that is extremely personally relevant.
Not only is he saying that he thinks they he's not only is he, I guess, subverted that we don't think that, but he thinks we should think that. He thinks we should wish that on those people for being that way. He thinks that's the logical.
It's one of the biggest self-reports I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is.
It's and there's a lot of people who think this. And it's also like they don't think that queer people exist in Gaza. They do. There are lots of them.
They exist
It
everywhere.
exists everywhere.
Very documented.
It's in human nature to be queer. Everywhere there is people, you will find queer people. They're
true.
in Gaza. And
They could be in this room.
and it's like right now in Gaza, we are supplying them with bunker buster bombs. And if you know what a bunker buster is, it's an extremely powerful bomb that causes a shockwave where it takes all of the atmosphere out of a certain range, and then all of that air comes rushing back in. And what that does to a human being's physiology is horrifying. And children are especially susceptible to it because their organs are less developed. What it does, and why you're seeing so many videos of children with no visible external wounds that are dead, is because it ruptures their internal organs and they bleed out from the inside. It is just so inconceivable that no one, I can't think of a single thing that someone could do that I would wish that on them, let alone their children. God, it is just, these are highly religious people like Ben Shapiro, they claim to be. And they love to say, oh, religion is what gives me a moral compass. How can you have a moral compass without religion? They don't have moral compasses. That's why they need religion, to enforce some basic level of functionality. They're sociopaths. Not all religious people. I'm not trying to say that, but Ben Shapiro, definitely.
We have respect for religious people and
Yes.
people's faith. We're not trying to get r/atheism pilled in here right now, but yeah.
Just horrifying, just appalling. When I went up to get in line, I thought about completely changing up right there just because of how much what he said in that speech pissed me off. Telling me I shouldn't have empathy for these children.
I too definitely felt like saying, like, in that line, I definitely wanted to say something about the Israel-Palestine thing because that was the theme of this entire event. The event was literally called "Stop Apologizing About the Superiority of Western Values," which is, we're not even hiding it anymore, right? Like, it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. What is socially acceptable among conservatives to say? It's always been horrifying, but I think the tide is swaying in their direction once again in terms of their ability to push the line. And it's getting kind of scary. Can I read some comments? You guys okay with me reading comments?
I have some notes. I guess
Go on. Go right ahead.
I don't really remember much of when I wrote this down, but I guess he said reality is not Islamophobic.
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
He was just saying a bunch of Islamophobic stuff, and then saying reality is not Islamophobic.
That's just the line that he turns to. Reality is not
Yeah.
transphobic. Reality is not fucking homophobic.
I feel like if anything, he should be saying reality is Islamophobic. He seems pretty comfortable adopting these things, like Islamophobia and transphobia. I don't know. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous and audacious of him to say that.
Really, I felt like deeply personally offended that anyone would imply that about me, that I should not have empathy for children who are being blown up.
Absolutely.
I am the triggered liberal that they tell you about. That triggered me. When I heard him say that, I felt so much rage just wash over me.
Well, say what you want about the man, but he definitely has a grip on people's emotions.
Yep. I'm emotional and irrational.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I kind of felt like a complete dickhead bringing up trans stuff at this event, because it very much felt like the time to confront him about the Israel-Palestine situation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why we went out of our way to get a statement about the Palestine situation out and not a bunch of insufferable queer discourse that's also going on. But, and I did get a lot of comments. I did get not a lot, a couple of comments I saw. People telling me it was insensitive of me to bring up trans stuff and that I should have brought up the Israel situation. I just want to say I hear you. That's all I had prepared. I didn't know this was only going to be about the Israel stuff. And also I've been waiting for this moment my entire life as a trans woman to stand up there for myself and for my people against someone so high profile in front of such a huge audience. I don't think I should be executed in the comment section for doing that. It's just my personal opinion. And also, Ben Shapiro had every possible rebuttal prepared for any Israel talking point as well.
Yeah.
I think it would have been much harder to do that. And also myself, I don't have every fact and figure memorized like he's going to pretend he does. So yeah, I felt it wasn't for me to say. I felt the trans stuff was more my prerogative to talk about. And do you guys think it was inappropriate of me to bring up at that event?
No.
Okay.
That's
I'm willing to hear people out if they think that. I'm not just trying to double down. I think it's completely fair of people to think that, but I also personally don't think it was bad. I don't think I'm a bad person, or I don't think I did the wrong thing, but I'm willing to hear people out if they think I did. Squeebo, what time do we got to get out of here? We got 10 minutes then.
Can we quit?
Oh, yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
There were also some of you, if you watched the entire thing or skipped through it, you might have seen the cameras cut to a spot where actually we were sitting, where there was a row of students, who, when we got in there, they all, I hate to say it, but they looked pretty liberal, pretty leftist. They were young. They had nice clothes, like good fashion, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, conservatives aren't allowed to be fashionable.
It's true. Many such cases.
Shut the hell up, okay? There were some pretty snappy looking conservatives there.
Yeah, Demi's secretly attracted to conservatives.
This is true.
It's not a secret.
No. And as we were in our seats, I was looking around because it's a new environment. I was just soaking it all in. And the people behind us, I saw that they were rubbing some sort of.
All right, finish talking about the protesters, and then we gotta hurry the hell up.
And when I look behind myself, these students were rubbing some sort of red paint on their hands, and I mean that was a pretty clear sign that they were getting ready for something. We didn't know. They were
putting
what.
blood on their hands, fake blood on their hands,
Yeah,
and raising their hands up high so everyone could see them.
Yeah. And I think they did a great job. They weren't
they held their hands the whole time too. They didn't put them down,
time.
which
Really
I think was
impressive.
very impressive.
Yeah.
I almost asked them if they had any more, but I didn't want to fuck with them. But yeah.
Oh, there were some staff from the UW that congratulated you after you talked.
Yes. Oh my god, that made me feel so much better because when I took the walk of shame back after everyone was, I have to walk back to my seat after hearing the applause against me, which it probably doesn't sound too jarring, but that's a very anxiety driving, very anxious experience. Everyone's staring at me, watching me get back to my seat. Everybody's cheering and clapping for Ben Shapiro, who did nothing but insult the shit out of me. But a lot of the staff members there who literally had to be at that event, I want to make that clear. they literally it's their job to host the events at UW Madison, and they had to do this one. So they weren't like Ben Shapiro supporters, you know. They weren't like his people, but the people from the college at the event were super super cool, and I got a lot of thumbs ups, and people were like, "You did a really good job," and also the protesters behind us were like, "Oh my God, you did a really good job." Yeah, he was just talking fast. Like a lot of people hyped me up afterwards. And it was really good. We're like out of time, so we'll. Is there anything urgent that we have to get off of our chest before we wrap it up real quick?
Nope.
Squeebo?
I guess I want to say for all of us, we already kind of said it, but we're so thankful for all of you guys and checking us out. Thanks to Vosh and Keffels for giving Demi the spotlight that she so deserved.
Yeah, I had nothing but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hate comments of people literally telling me I needed to die. It was taking. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. It hurt. It took a bit of a toll on my mental health. I was doom scrolling through comments of hundreds and hundreds of people who literally want to be dead, and that's not just me being hyperbolic. I say this with 100% sincerity that many of these people wanted me dead. They think I'm a rapist. They think I'm a sexual predator. They think, you know, horrible things about me. Not because of anything I've done, but because I am transgender. People, you know, telling me how ugly and disgusting I am. I don't have time to read comments, but they were fucking heinous, and I'm sure I'll get another opportunity to talk about this somewhere else. But for like a week, that's all it was that. And then all of a sudden, Keffels makes a video about me, and it gets a shit ton of views, and it drives a shit ton of traffic to me. And so many people are all of a sudden complimenting me, telling me I did a really good job considering the situation I was in. A lot of people checking out my content. A lot of people, you know, following me on social media. Aside from fueling my social media addiction, it also was just very, very, very helpful. And then when Vosh covered it, not trying to knock Keffels, but that got way more attention. Vosh's segment has, how many views does it have right now? Has like...
While you look that up, Demi came over to my house because when the stream name got announced, we were both like, "Oh my God, he's gonna do it!" And she came over, and we
I went over to Squeebo's house, and we had a Vosh watch party, and we watched like his entire stream. Yeah, Vosh's segment with me, 210,000 views. It's an insane amount of positive attention compared to like having had 3 million negative views. It was shocking to say the least to get that much positive attention. Vosh and Keffels alike drove a lot of traffic to my communities, our community, the middle school GSA community, and I'll never forget it. I'm forever in debt. And I also have like 870 something, like 880 I think subscribers on YouTube now. Like, you know, when I make another video, I say. 885. Holy shit! When I make another video, people are gonna watch, and you know that's the best gift you can ever give somebody. But yeah, we don't have a lot of time left, so Squeebo, where can our listeners find you?
Well, I recently migrated to a new /old Twitter account. You can look me up at twitter.com/ devoted to JoJo. I know. I made that as a JoJo fan account in like 2021.
Squeebo is 16, by the way.
I'm
so
16. Don't be fucking weird. Yeah. I don't really post that much, but sometimes I do.
Cool. Felonious Ferris.
I'm 20, but still don't be fucking weird.
True.
Don't
True. Maybe just don't be weird. Be weird to me. Don't be weird to anyone else.
I'm on places. I'm on Twitter, Felonious Ferris. Join our Discord server.
That's felonious as in of or related to a felony.
Yeah.
Or the perpetrator of a felony.
Uh-huh. And I'm in our Discord server, and I actually interact with people sometimes.
Yeah,
now.
it's crazy.
It's true.
Yeah. Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
And if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me on Discord.
Yeah, just tag
yeah.
Felonious Ferris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Demigloom. Follow me on Twitter at Demigloom. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Demigloom, and subscribe to this channel, Middle School GSA. As always, I say as always. We don't have a catchphrase or anything. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.